magician I to improve mastery of irregular plural nouns among the three pupils. This is the aspects that I'm going to look into in this presentation. And the first one is the introduction. English comprises many complicated grammar rules that make it challenges for us to master, and many non-native learners struggle to remember and memorize the grammar rules. And in this research, I'm focusing on the morphology that is forming words under the grammar item of irregular plural nouns. Irregular plural noun is the type of noun that doesn't abide by the same rules as most other nouns. Based on my previous practicum, I found that my year 3 pupils really had difficulties in remembering the grammar rule of irregular plural nouns, and they also find grammar rules boring because there's too many grammatical items and rules to remember. For my research problems, throughout the whole 3 months of practicum, I found that there is one major issue regarding of learning irregular plural nouns, and I thought that it would be smooth sailing in teaching this, but it's not. I first tried the overt approach in teaching grammar rules by explicitly explaining the rules of grammar rules such as adding s or es in making it in a plural form. But then I found that these year 3 pupils really had confusion in changing the singular nouns into the irregular plural nouns. They tend to apply the same rule when changing the irregular nouns of singular to plural form. For example, they tend to add s in making it plural, like must become musters. However, this is not the same rule that we apply when we converting the singular noun into the irregular nouns. So my focus is to empower pupils' mastery in learning irregular plural nouns. Okay, next one is the intervention that I'm going to use. This is how it looks like. I intend to do. My intervention is called as magician I, that stands for magician of irregular nouns. There are 2 layers of board, and the first layer is for the singular, and the second one is the plural nouns. And then each of the spots of magician I has pictures and words for singular and irregular plural nouns. For example, when they land on the spot of child, they have to write the plural form of child by referring to the picture, such as the children in a paper. This intervention is really different with the conventional way of teaching grammar because it is now being embedded, and through playing games, this will also avoid the boredom in learning grammar. And this is supported by Uberman 2010. Activities structured as games can provide concrete practice for learners by reducing the tension and anxiety which are important in learning. So my intervention hopes that students will feel enjoy in learning grammar. Next one is the research objectives and research questions. There are 2 research questions and objectives, and both of them are focusing on remembering the grammar rules and improving students' correct use of irregular plural nouns in writing. The first one is how does magician I help students to remember the grammar rules of irregular nouns. Meanwhile, for the objective is to examine how magician I helps students in remembering the grammar rules of irregular nouns. And the last one is how does magician I improve students' correct use of irregular plural nouns in writing, and to investigate how magician I improves students' mastery of irregular plural nouns in writing. Next, I'm going to talk about the preliminary data collection. There are 2 methods that I have conducted from the previous practicum, which are document analysis and observation. These data collected from the pupils' previous worksheet of irregular plural nouns and observation during the English lesson last year. And then I found that there are 3 of them are prone to make mistakes in changing the singular nouns to its irregular nouns, especially when they write in sentences. And this is the analysis we can see that they tend to add s at the end of the words in making it into the plural form. Next one is the procedures of action. I'm going to use the Kurt Lewis action model, and there are 4 steps that I need to go through. The first one is planning, the second one is acting, the third one is observing, and the last one is reflecting. Okay, for planning, I will identify the pattern of mistakes in irregular plural nouns by looking at the worksheets that I'm going to distribute later. And then I will also plan for mention I in terms of the materials or the period that I'm going to conduct during the research later. Meanwhile, for the acting, I'm going to explain the rules and drill it to pupils first before they start using my mention I so that they can memorize the grammar rules. And then for observing, I will observe the pattern of mistakes before and after using the mention I during the teaching and learning process. And the last one is reflecting. I will reflect how mention I improve pupils in irregular nouns. Let's say that my intervention is not working. I will do some improvements from time to time within the period of the cycle. Next one is the data collection methods and analysis. There are also 2, and the first one is the observation. For the method, I'm going to use a checklist during the observations in recording respondents' progress along the intervention process. And for the criteria in the checklist, there are 3, which are pupils able to convert singular nouns to irregular plural nouns correctly, and then to remember the rules of the irregular nouns, and the last one is able to write sentences using irregular plural nouns correctly. So during the observation, I'm going to look at this aspect and then tick them if the research participants already fulfill their criteria. And the analysis of the observation will lead me to answer the questions of how does mention I improve students' correct use of irregular plural nouns in writing. And the last one is for the document analysis. For the method, I'm going to use pre-test and post-test, which are going to be conducted before and after the intervention. For the analysis, I'm going to measure the change resulting from the interventions by comparing scores from both tests. And let's say that the mark increase is going to tell that my intervention worked or vice versa. And then I'm also going to do some improvement. And this analysis will lead me to answer the questions of how does mention I help students to remember the grammar rules of irregular nouns. And for the conclusion, I really hope that my mention I could curb the calamities faced by pupils in constructing sentences of irregular plural nouns and remembering the rules while enjoying playing